I begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Today is the day 27 of the Grand Australian Ride. Today I'll be riding from Kununurra to Katherine. The ride date is 26th of May 2022. The time taken was 11 hours approximately. The weather was very humid. The distance that I covered was 514 kilometers. It was a fairly long ride. The terrain was a bit hilly and the road was mainly straight. I took a first fuel stop at Kununurra, and then the second one was at Timber Creek, and then I fueled up again when I reached Katherine. Good morning. It's 26th of May today, and it's 27th day of our tour. I am currently in it's really hard for me to spell this name. Kununurra. It's spoken, I think, Kununurra, but it's Kununurra. So I'm in Kununurra. I arrived here yesterday around, I think, 3-4 o'clock or something. And it's 6 o'clock right now. I'm going to get started. Today I'm going to Katherine, which is in Northern Territory. I'm in Western Australia right now. They're two different states. So from Kununurra to Katherine is around 515 kilometers roughly. That's the distance I'm going to travel. I'm going to cross state borders, number 2, and number 3, there will be change in time because Northern Territory is I think it's 1.5 hours ahead of Western Australia. So I'll have to change clock. So when first thing I need to do is oil the chains. I haven't done it in, I think, at least 2000 kilometers because the chain looked wet. That's why I didn't bother, because if I oil the chain too much, it messes up, the oil just sort of sprinkles everywhere. So I'm going to do that, fill up petrol and then leave. So I'm all good to go, and I'll see you on the road. Good morning. So I've dropped the keys and we are good to go. Om Ganpataya Namah. Jai Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Sri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Har Har Mahadev Har. So now I just realized that I always oil the chain at the end of the day, and I didn't do it last night. So I so I just put a little bit of oil in it, but I'm going to do it end of today for sure. I have to make sure I do. Also, to oil the chains, I need to put the bike on the bigger stand, and with all this weight of all the luggage, it's just too hard to put it on the big stand. So that's another thing. That's the petrol station is just there. I'm going to fill up, and after that we are going to catch the road to Katherine, which is A1 is just there in front of us, where you see that truck. Okay, so what's the rate over here? It's 199.7. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's not bad. It's actually very good. All right. Unload is what I need. So I've finished filling up. I filled up 9.37 liters. I had some fuel from yesterday. It costed me 199.7 because I did 191, and the total amount was 18.71. Where's the glove? Okay. Yep. So
I already had some fuel from yesterday. It wasn't completely drained. Must be around 5 liters or so. So 9.37 sounds right. Anyway, so time to get started. It's already 6:30. I was hoping to get started by 6 o'clock latest, but you can always try, but sometimes you don't. If you try for 6, you might end up 6:30. That's what happened today. So 6:29, but still not bad. The sun has just risen. The good thing is 6:30 is like sunrise, like full daylight. So it's actually a good thing. Those are those trucks used for carrying cattle that we saw on the way yesterday. This whole area is known for cattle farms. So these trucks are quite common over here. From here they would ferry the cattle via Katherine to Darwin and then ship it, or they might go to Port Hedland, I don't know which direction they usually take, but Darwin makes a lot of sense from here because Darwin is only about 800 kilometers. 800 yeah, around 800, 800, 850, I don't know, somewhere like that. Whereas if you were to go any other if you go the other direction, Port Hedland would be a longer distance. So yeah, this is the city, suburban area of the city where you can see all the houses, same as any other place in Australia. The house construction is very similar, but they use corrugated roofing over here rather than tiles. I don't know, maybe it might just be cheaper to use corrugated roofing. But yeah, now that's the information board as you enter the town. So this means we are outside town now. So we have reached Kununurra and left Kununurra. Now we are on our way to Katherine, student hostel, Aboriginal Hostels Limited. So there is an Aboriginal hostel over here as well. Aboriginals have a very dark history in Australia. It's just like what happens with Red Indians and Aboriginals in America. Now, something to do with that tree. It's shown that I pointed the tree out. It's popular in this area and everything, in the bottle-shaped tree. It's actually Australian boab. So boab is a B-O-A-B is found in Madagascar. Like the big boab tree, they are very famous in Madagascar. Madagascar is known for boab actually. I didn't know that there was Australian boab. Like, for example, there is African lions and there is Asiatic lions. African lions have the big male, so they look bigger. But Asiatic lions look they look smaller because of the smaller male. And obviously the terrain in India, which is they're found in India in Gir jungle. So that's where you would the terrain is different. It's actually similar to over here. So yeah, so that's what that is. But in Madagascar, the boab is huge, massive, and they're very old. Whereas this is Australian boab. The scientists are still they don't know how it got over here from Madagascar to Australia. They have no idea. The Australian boab doesn't go very tall. They are short, like you see those over there. I don't know if I'm pointing it right, but that's the Australian boab. The stump is just like that, square, like straight, or it goes in a bottle shape. Those are the two types I've seen, like straight and bottle shape. I've seen a really old boab in when I was riding between Broome and Fitzroy crossing, like that rest stop where I saw a big tree. Now that's also a boab, but as you would have noticed, when the Australian boab goes bigger, it goes wider, wider. It doesn't go taller. That's my observation. I mean, I didn't get enough time to look at things and read things properly because I've been riding constantly, but this is my visual observation. Yeah. So some people living outside the city as well, outside the town. So this was what you saw was a country town, Australian country town or outback town. Now this is outback, proper outback. In fact, if you go to Halls Creek or Fitzroy Crossing, that's like the real outback, but this is still outback. This town has a nice airport. When I arrived, I saw like 15-20 planes in the airport. So yeah, pretty good place. Now we are outside the town, and I'll update you as we go along. Alright, so thought I'll just check this out. Timber Creek is 192. Katherine is where we are headed today, 473. And Darwin is 797. So I was talking about Darwin earlier. That's about 800 kilometers from here, which is right, kind of, yeah. Yeah, so we headed to Katherine. We will obviously stop in Timber Creek, which is 200 kilometers from here. Timber Creek is actually, from what I remember, it's past the border. So that's after we cross into Northern Territory and have to travel some distance, then we reach to Timber Creek. So which means that soon I should be seeing the border for Northern Territory. Excited to enter Northern Territory, heard a lot about it, but now I'll be able to see it as well. So I came from there and going straight. There is nothing, no checkpoint, nothing. If you are entering WA, then you have to go through that and they will ask you questions and everything. Like when I first entered Western Australia from South Australia, they had asked me all kinds of questions. They were quarantine inspector and everything over here. No, in South Australia and at the border over there. So there was a similar structure and they sort of asked me all kinds of questions. But nothing over here, no questions to ask. This is that car that just arrived from Northern Territory and now is crossing into Western Australia. But we are going to Northern Territory and they don't care. They don't need to ask any questions, just go. So there it is. This is the border. As you can see, they're also doing some inspections over there of the car that there's another car that just arrived. They are doing inspection of that car. Thank you for visiting Western Australia, and there it is. Welcome to Northern Territory. So there we are. I'll just briefly stop over here. There has to be a customary photograph and then we'll get going into Northern Territory. Oh, stickers. I can stick a sticker over here as well. Excellent. So basically this is the border. That's what it is. That's Western Australia. This is Northern Territory. If you're coming from Western Australia, you'll be coming on this road. If you're coming from Northern Territory, there is another road on that side. So where that board is, that's where the road is, and it goes straight into that building. But if you're coming from Western Australia, no checking. You just go shoop out into Northern Territory. Now let's see. Western Australia had been a very good experience for me. The rest stops were really nice, very good facilities, a lot of caravan Lot of caravans and campers all over the place. Rest stops were very well facilitated, so that if you had a caravan or a motor van or something, you can easily spend a night at the rest stop. Now we are entering into Victoria Dali region. Now, yeah, but this Northern Territory is a mystery for me. I'll see. I've heard a lot and whatever, but the real Northern Territory, yeah, I'll be exploring now. So let's see how we go. From Northern, what? 130 kilometers? Is that the speed limit? I have never seen that. I have never seen that in Australia. Is that for real? Let me check it out. That's 100 kilometers in Western Australia. Okay, so the speed limit is 100. But turn around, you're coming to Northern Territory. What's the speed limit? 130. Wow, that is something. I just did not expect that. Anyways, I'll need to record this thing somehow. Customary photo. Yeah, so 130 kilometer speed limit. I just did not know that it was even possible in Australia to ride at 130 without being fined. But yes, it is in Northern Territory. Oh, cows. Yeah, I know that. I've heard that Northern Territory has a lot of cattle farms. But when I was in Western Australia, I thought, that was it pretty much. But this place has got more. Yeah, very excited because I think I'll be seeing so many a different side of Australia when I'm in Northern Territory. So let's see how we go. But my Basti is only going to fly at 100, right? You can put a limit at 130 or 200, doesn't matter. We only ride at 100. The Keep River National Park is that side. It's on the way. Just as you enter Northern Territory. Just to give you an update, when I entered Northern Territory, it was 110k and I started at 60, so I guess 50 kilometers. Yes, so from Kununurra I would have ridden 50 kilometers and I entered the border. So the border is about 50 kilometers from Kununurra, just as a note. So if you are planning to ride or drive around here, you know what to expect. There's a sign everywhere, like this triangle and a flower in it. I don't know what that's all about. I started seeing it as soon as I entered Northern Territory. There is a sign again. Let's see what it says. All stock entering the Northern Territory must have health certificate. So any cow or a goat or a sheep or anything that is an animal, you bring like a stock, like not dogs, but not pet dogs, but if you are crossing a cow into Northern Territory, then the cow needs to have a health certificate. So yeah, that's interesting. Even within states there are so many regulations. It's when you cross borders like this you see all those things happening. I was talking about baobab tree. This is the baobab tree. It's originally found in Madagascar. but this is a Australian variant of it. There are many. That's baobab as well. This is baobab as well, but they call it the Australian baobab. It has a very unique fruit as well to in it. You'd see in some places. But yeah, that's Australian baobab. When I saw first, I was like, what is it? I didn't know. But a few days back, but this whole region of Kimberley, now I'm in Northern Territory. This whole region, the northern part, has this, and there are so many of them. So the first thing is that the scientists are baffled as to how it got from Madagascar to here, because baobab is Madagascar is known for its baobab trees, but and also it's not that there's only a few of them. It's like I have seen this in a span of about hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. So there are a lot of baobab trees around here. So first of all, they don't know how they got here, and the second thing is the baobab tree you see in see again a few baobab trees over there. The baobab. Let's check out the rest stop in Northern Territory. So the baobab tree you see in Africa are actually very tall, but the Australian ones look midget. Alan Kennett rest stop. So this is the rest stop in Northern Territory. There is a toilet facility, I think, over there. Bins. No, they've got bins, purple bins, and they've got a bench over there. From bull dust to beef road. Monument. There's a monument for it. So yeah, that's a typical 24-hour overnight camping allowed. So you are allowed to camp over here. So yes, camper vans, even bikes. This is free camping area. Basically, this is, when you are looking for camping sites, when you're riding, you don't look for free camping sites. You look for rest stops, because at rest stops you can camp. So you could say this is a free camping area. There's toilet facilities, there's water facilities. Obviously this water is not drinkable, but there you go. That's a rest area with a monument. So Northern Territory rest areas look good as well. They've got bins. They've got plastic bins though, but they do have bins. Now yeah, we'll get going and I'll update as when something interesting comes along. Here it's another rest stop. As you can see, purple bins, benches, toilets. But it's been nearly 150 k's. No, not 150 k's, about 120 k's or something since I started. So I thought might as well take a break now. And here's, I'll take a little bit of rest. Let me see if I can fly the drone, because there's a nice rock formation just behind me. I can capture that, and then I'll get going. Bula Gurbidgum community. Now it says you can go there, and there is a Genima store, 1 kilometer drive into Bula community store. So you can get food and everything there. So I need to. When I started, so I'm off A1 right now, going into a Aboriginal community. It's the first time I would actually drive into an Aboriginal community. When I started the day, I just had a coffee, so I thought I'll probably get something to eat over here. There is no alcohol allowed in this community. And there is baobab trees on both sides. Look for people. Yeah. I'm just interested on how these people live over here. There's election posters. Okay, so this is the community. There's some car junkyard over there on the left. Looks very different to me. Store. Where is the store? Oops. Store. Looks like everything is closed. I'll just probably turn around. Okay. The dogs are crazy over here. I thought I'll come and get something to eat or something over here, but looks like the store's closed and the dogs are, oh my. Okay, the dogs are crazy over here. It's just okay, fair enough. It was all closed. I got to the store, but the store was closed. So obviously couldn't get anything over there. I was hoping the store would be open. There were a couple of guys who were just walking around. I thought in one of the houses I saw someone sitting, but that's what this communities look like. The infrastructure is not very nice. Anyways, I've come back to the main road now. Yeah, quite an experience. So I gave you a glimpse into because there was nothing that says you can't go in or do not enter or whatever. So I did enter. There was even advertisement, like a signage for a store, and that signage I saw earlier as well along the road. So I thought, yeah, good idea. It's Aboriginal community. Let's just go in, and there's a store, so I'll probably buy some food, coffee or something, and yeah, and then I'll get going on my way. But apparently the store looked like it was closed and the dogs were crazy, so I just left. This bridge, like a tourist spot. It's just a river and the bridge. Australian Defence Force restricted area, no vehicles on bridge, pedestrians only. Oh, there's a truck coming. There must be some kind of a Australian Defence Force establishment on the other side of the bridge. Say Bradso Bridge, that's what it was. Anyways, on my way now, not very far from the next stop. I am starting to run low on fuel, but I think the next stop should be in 15-20 kilometers or so max. Since I left Baop country, that's what it says. All this city is actually a highlight Baop tree around here. Since I left this morning Kununurra around 6:30, the time right now is 10 o'clock, so it's been like 3.5 hours. I have crossed 230 kilometers approximately, 230, and there were rest stops on the way. There were across the border. I made quite a lot of frequent stops as well. But one important thing is there was no petrol on the way. So since you leave Kununurra and get to Timber Creek, you will not find any petrol, any coffee, any services whatsoever. Even mobile phone is pretty much dead. Even Telstra, I do have a Telstra spare phone with me as well. My main phone is Vodafone, but I keep Telstra as well for this particular trip, and that one didn't get any signal either. So just be prepared for that. Fuel up before you leave. There's some roadworks going on over here just outside town. Station. A little bit further away was a fuel station. That was power station. So the town creates its own power. That was, I've seen that before as well, but I sort of saw it. I thought that's what it was, but I didn't really believe that it could be it. But anyways, now I know for sure. So I'm going to stop over here. This is Timber Creek Hotel. That's Greyhound, Australia. So I'm going to get fuel and also see if I can get some food over here, and then I'll update once I'm done. If I had covered this, but I have filled in 11 liters, 216 cents per liter, and it came to about $29.56 in total. So that was what I filled up. That's the bar and takeaway alcohol. Apparently looks like they don't have too many shops. They have takeaway alcohol at the bar, and it's pretty busy right now. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's busy with, I would say, a lot of Aboriginal people who are coming to purchase alcohol. It's a big problem with them. Oh, there's a defense training area over here. There's another one. Oh, this is actually a better one. I should have come here. They got like a bakery and stuff. Wow. If they have a bakery, they will definitely have more vegetarian options. So what I had was I was hoping to get something nicer, but they didn't even have a veggie patty. But there was a guy there who just was from the kitchen, who must be standing around. He was like, oh, you know what, I can cook you up something, no worries. And I was like, oh, thanks for that. And he said, well, how about I've got potato scallops, I don't have patty, but I can use potato. And he basically cooked up a nice burger. So we are off. So I just had a look. From looking at Google, it's 285 kilometers. There are 2 points where it looks like there are 2 towns or stops on the way. It's 11 o'clock and I'm hoping to be in Katherine by, I would say, 3 or 4 o'clock. So I've got about 4 to 5 hours to reach Katherine. Looks like that is the town. See, all the cars are like, you know, bonnet up and whatnot. They look like, sometimes it looks like a junkyard, but apparently it's not. By the way, those 2 roadhouses are the pretty much what this town is all about, looks like. Timber Creek. And there is a defense establishment around here and defense training and stuff. So they are over here, and the roadhouse, and then there is a small town. A bunch of guys drove in. I didn't record it because I just didn't want to cause issues. I think there is something to do with photography and Aboriginal culture. They just don't like it. So yeah, that's why I didn't record this. But a bunch of guys came in a car. One of them got a slab of beer, got back into the car, and then there was a guy walking past, and he sort of got into the car as well. And then one of the guys who went out of the car and got to there were a few girls or women sitting over there with small children, and he was talking to them. I don't know what was going on, but then a police car was there, so the police went there. And as soon as the police got here, because there was a car in front of me, so I couldn't see clearly, but as soon as the police got there, within 5 minutes that guy went back to the car, and then the car went off from there. So I don't know what was going on. Pretty dodgy stuff happening. The back glass of the car was broken and there was a plastic wrap around it. So the whole setup looked pretty dodgy, but don't know. You know, when you don't know what's up around in town and how people live and deal with things, it's hard to judge anything. Seems like another community over there on the left. Yeah, it's definitely a community. There's a basketball ring and stuff that I could see from here. Anyways, I'm out of Timber Creek now and headed towards Katherine. So I'll update you once I find something interesting on the way. Victoria River. There's a helicopter there for scenic rides, I guess. Roadhouse. Just going to take a water and coffee break over here. I'm run out of water, so I need to get some. And I'll just walk around a little bit because it's very hot out here. And yeah, so coffee, water, rest, and then I'll get going. Like I mentioned, there is a helicopter. They do scenic flights. I had a coffee over here, cappuccino, but funnily enough, the cappuccino was actually made from a sachet, like those little packets that you open up and make it. The lady over there was like, cappuccino, because it was a bar, a proper. It's this place is pretty. This roadhouse was pretty much like a proper outback one, where all they have is beer and a pub and some stuff that they sell and petrol. And for tourists, they have helicopter rides, and then in the back they have the motel. So when I asked for cappuccino, I was being a bit like, oh, would I get it or not? And she said, yeah, we do have it, but it in sachets. I was like, okay, no worries, I'll take that. And I bought a 1.5 liter bottle of water. In my tank bag, I've actually got a bladder. As you can see, this black tube, this one. There is a bladder inside my tank bag. It's a Moscow Motor Nomex. It's got a bladder and a tube. So I had whatever I could drink. The rest of it I emptied it in the bladder. So for the journey. It's a good size bladder. Like, this is a good concept where you have a bladder inside the tank bag, so that you don't have to carry it in your shoulder. Otherwise you have to carry a bag in your shoulder for drinking water. Water is very important. You can easily forget to drink and then get dehydrated. Anyway, so we've got about 200 k's to go. I believe there is one more stop before we get to Katherine. So I'll update when I get there. The time right now is 12:47 as per Western Australian time, but the time has changed. Now the clock has changed. I didn't realize that, but because I didn't see any signage over here. You're crossing in Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, or practically all states, they have signs, like time has changed, change your clock, whatever, people tell you. But when you enter Northern Territory, forget about it. No one is going to tell you. There is no signage. So when I spoke to my wife, when I stopped earlier, when I was getting some signals, she said, the time has changed. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it's 1.5 hour difference now. She's in Victoria. I was in Western Australia. The time difference was 2 hours. But between Northern Territory and Victoria, it's only half an hour. So I was like, okay, then I still need to change time. The mobile phones add up the time straight away. But the bike, I need to change the time. In the Kimberley, the roads have character, like I call it. Throughout Western Australia, coming from Perth all the way up, the roads are all straight. No up and down, no that, just straight. Flat and straight. But as soon as you enter the Kimberley region, the roads go up and down and twisties and everything. So there's a bit of fun over here. A bit of change after I don't know, three weeks or more, nearly 4 weeks. Yeah. After more than 3 weeks, yeah. The roads have got some character now. Not straight anymore. You can see smoke everywhere. And if there is smoke, means there is fire. Either there is a bushfire around here, or they might be doing burnouts. Basically, burnout is a process of burning certain area. So if ever the fire happens, it stops, because once you burn grass, for example, you cannot burn it again. So they do burnouts in certain areas. So if at all the fire happens, it stops over there. Because in this area, areas like this, and bushfire happens, it goes on for kilometers on end. And I'm pretty remote as well still. I'm close to like 124 kilometers or 120 kilometers from Katherine. I'm on A1. Now at this stage, Savannah Way and A1 is the same. And I think from Katherine it continues straight, and then Savannah Way and A1, both of them will turn, I think, on left to MacArthur, and from there it will go straight. Future plans, obviously, I'll tell you as we go along. But yeah, I'll try and capture if I see the fire. But I think it's at a very distant, it's quite far. But all this is not cloud, it's smoke from the fire. I don't know how clearly visible it is on the camera, but I can see a lot of smoke. So 100 kilometers from Katherine right now. As you can see, there is a bench over, a couple of benches there, fire for cooking barbecue. Water. It says water may not be suitable for drinking, but water is there. Bins are there, so many. Toilet is there. So you practically got everything. And if you're coming in a caravan, there is a dump point as well. Right there, sewage waste only. So yeah, and the sign says 24-hour overnight camping allowed. So free camping. If you are riding and looking for free camping, 100k before Katherine, there is a rest stop here. So all the rest stops come at a roughly around 70-80 kilometer interval. The last one was 80 kilometer back, and they all have camping facilities. So if there's someone in India thinking, I want to do Australia, but with Himalayan, maybe accommodation is a bit steep, then use free camping. You'll be just fine. Yeah, even over here, because you have to book 40 to 50 accommodations, sometimes it's not just about the cost, it's also about managing all the, and free camping just seems easy, or maybe a bit of adventure. Free camping is possible throughout the route for sure. I am not using it because this is already a big enough adventure for me. Can't afford to have any more adventure than this. If I go for I'm carrying camping gear, I'm carrying it for backup only, because I'm already riding like today I'm riding 500 k's. I would the maximum ride I've done before I started this tour was about 300 or 350 tops. So it's compared to that, I've already broken so many records. I'm breaking it every day. Today I'll be finishing with 530 kilometers approximately. That will be the highest I've ridden in my life. So yeah, I'm not a very experienced rider. Maybe next trip I can opt for camping, no problem. 3 now, finally. About 520 kilometers from where we were. There is north
northern helicopters something over there. There's a few helicopters lying around. I think on the way when I stopped at the second roadhouse, they had the same same helicopter company signage. Join from here. Oops. Where does it? Easy to connect. Oops. Okay. All right. So. Okay, I had put it up because I was trying to place the motorcycle in front of the signage of the city. Okay, my leg is twisted a bit. Okay, so this is the city. It is the first big city I have come across since I entered the Northern Territory. In fact, first call it town, city, whatever, it's the first one. I think from here we go straight. On right hand side is a detour for heavy vehicles. There is a caravan park on the left, but I think I have got a motor in today, so it is not a caravan park. Beagle Motor Inn. Just saw another motorcycle. There's hot springs over here, but I'm obviously not going to be going to this hot springs. After I go to Darwin, I'm going to bypass Katherine and go to Mataranka, where there are hot springs. So hopefully if I reach there on time, I will try and see if I can take a dip in the hot spring when I get to Mataranka. That is tomorrow I'm going to Darwin. Day after I'm going to finally have a break in Darwin after 2 weeks of riding. And the day after that I'm going to go to Mataranka. So that's a schedule. I was just before entering Katherine, there is a bridge. So as I was crossing the bridge, right on the top of the bridge there was a van in front of me which just suddenly stopped. I was wondering what is this guy doing? And as I got close, I think I saw a snake lying on the side of the road. Alright, so there's some people over here. This is a neighborhood. So the first petrol station I find, I need to fuel up first. That is one thing I have to do. There's Domino's here. Flavors of India. Indian restaurant. Okay, so there's an Indian restaurant over here. What is that? Country butchers. So obviously I've seen an Indian restaurant after a very long time. I'll just fuel up over here. Alright, so I filled up 14.73 liters, 198.5 cent per liter is the cost. Total came to 29. Alright, so I finally got the room. The battery, the camera sort of got stuck, so it wasn't recording. But anyways, I've arrived in the motel. Room number 23. It's a single bed. So it's a bed, luggage rack, towels, fridge, plus TV. Pretty standard. And it's a toilet, shower. So anyways, I'll just settle in and then I'll update about the day. It was pretty interesting day, pretty long ride, and I'll just give a brief on the rest of the day and what happened today during the day. Anyways, I'll update shortly. Alright, so basically I've checked into the motel. That side is the entrance. Mustang is just parked over here, right there. And there's a pool over here, laundry facilities. There's also a restaurant, and the room is right here. Now I'll just talk about what happened today. Nothing too exciting. It was pretty straightforward. It was a long route. Sorry, I'm just. Yep. So basically, I started from Kununurra, and to Katherine. The distance is 520 or 530 approximately. There is nothing on the way except one Timber Creek. It's actually an Aboriginal community, and there are 2 roadhouses. And then further down there is one more roadhouse where you can fuel up, get coffee and things like that. But apart from these 2, nothing. So all I did was pretty much riding today. Captured some things that I found interesting on the way that you would have seen, and I crossed the border. The time has gone forward 1.5 hours now, so we are 1.5 hours ahead. So when I started this morning, it was 6:30. It's 5:30 right now, but really, if I was as per my old time, it should be 4:30 right now. So no, 4 o'clock right now. So yeah, ideally I started at 6:30, I reached at 4:30, but because of time moving forward, now it's 5:30. So I'm going to rest up over here. I saw an Indian restaurant on the way, very tempting because I've been eating veggie burgers past few days and haven't had a chance to eat Indian food for quite a while. I can't remember the last time. I did find those ready-made packs that I use, the ready-made curry and rice, but not in a proper Indian restaurant. So I'm going to, it's not very close, so I'm going to take the bike, go to the restaurant, have a meal, and then come back and call it a day. And now I'll see you tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. I'm going to Darwin, bike is going to be serviced. So yeah, looking forward to it. Anyways, have a good night and see you tomorrow.